Welcome to the Q1 Buck Pull. I'm Tim Hart with Mike Big Buck Hoffner. We are excited about another season here on the Buck Pull, aren't we, Mike?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be an exciting year. We've had a lot of things happening in the state of Michigan. We'll leave it for a surprise later about the deer herds up here in northern Branch County, but we'll save that till later, but we're looking for a great year anyway.
Today's show will feature kind of a recap from the final prize party, which was held at the Soaring Eagle last year. We had over 1,000 people there, and Mike, we had all kinds of bucks, and we had a lot of fun.
And we had a lot of happy people who walked out with a lot of prizes thanks to a lot of vendors supporting the show.
Also on today's show, we're going to talk to Tom Cooley at the MSU lab, and what he's going to talk about is EHD. It's the disease that is affecting mostly the lower part of Michigan. And you know, Mike, there's a lot of deer that are dying near water because of an insect bite.
Yeah, that's our little surprise of this segment this time, Tim, is what's happening to the deer herds, especially in northern Branch County.
We're going to cut up a deer so we can show you what the EHD looks like. We also are going to talk about how you score a deer. Again, it's points, mass, spread, and the longest time. We'll show you how you can score your deer because in some different locations, you'll go to the location, they'll give you a score sheet, and you can quickly do it yourself. Nice, simple, and easy.
Yeah, we want to make it simple for the public. And then, you know, Tim, we want to wrap it up because this is the time of the year. It's been going on for months now, all summer long. We've had some people send us in a couple of trail cam pictures of some really nice bucks.
Stay with us. You're watching the Q1 Buck Pull.
The Q1 Buck Pull is sponsored by these participating businesses who support the great outdoors in Michigan.
Back here on the Q1 Buck Pull. Right now, we're going to kind of revisit last year's final prize party at the Soaring Eagle. It was a lot of fun. Over 1,000 people attended. As I said earlier, there were bucks everywhere, people everywhere, and I heard so many deer stories you can't imagine.
I'll tell you what, it's going to get the juices flowing for this season to start with the end because you get a chance to see some of the fantastic prizes that people walked away with. Not only prizes, but great bucks as well.
Here's our final prize party for the 2011 season.
All right, Tori Pulowski. She shot at opening day of youth season. So Tori, let's talk right into there and tell me about the hunt. You know, it was quite exciting and you had your dad out there. So was it special to be with your dad out there and hunting?
Yeah, it was great because I've been hunting for about 5 years and I shot a 5-point, but to go out with my dad, because I hadn't shot anything with him before, and shoot this, it was amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Now, was it nerve-wracking when you kind of let the other bucks go?
No, because I passed up a few the year before. I wanted to wait for something big, and by big, I wasn't expecting this, but I'm happy about it.
And at the end, when you realized what you shot, what was it like at the Pulowski household?
It was crazy. We drove around and went and saw all my dad's friends, and we went and showed my mom and all kinds of friends and everything, and it was a great experience.
And you've kind of been like a little bit of a celebrity out and about, haven't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, and so now you know you're probably going to shoot a bigger one next year, or what?
I'm hoping.
Yeah. How many people have shot a deer like that in their life? Yeah, right. See what you see? She's 14, or now 15, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tori Pulowski. They make all kinds of custom choppers. You tell them what you want, they will make it. Custom Connection Motorsports in Battle Creek. And it is time now to draw our winner. Fellas, you got the barrel. We're going to have Brian draw it out. Freddie Smith is here. You got the name? Freddie's got the name.
Who wants it?
Who wants the ATV? Oh, here comes Freddie. Oh, Hang on, this woman right here. She's look right there. She says she's giving you the eye. She gave the double deal like this, like this, like this.
The last time that happened, he was right there.
Right, and he wants some money.
Hey, the only thing we can say is, if you don't absolutely jump out of your chair and run down here and jump on stage, we're drawing again.
The winner is
Jamie Herworth.
Woo! Woo! Jamie Herworth. He shot an 8-pointer. Oh, look at him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, get on there, dude. That is all yours. What a great time. And I will tell you that the party kept right on going. We had our prize party, and then everybody kept right on going at the Soaring Eagle. More stories, more favorite beverages, lots of fun.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, isn't there a song that said, "and gambled my life away"? And I think we did a little of that too.
It was a great time. March 2nd, 2013 will be this year's final prize party. We'll have some special rates at the Soaring Eagle for rooms. I know that we sold them out last year, so once we get the special rate, we'll make an announcement and you can get your room booked. March 2nd, 2013, this year's final prize party. Stay with us. We got more coming up. When we come back, we're going to talk about EHD with Tom Cooley at the MSU Lab. We're fortunate to live in the great state of Michigan with millions of acres of recreational land, 11,000 inland lakes, and for a lot of people, it's a dream come true to own their own piece of property. Today, I've got Randy Steck with us. He's a Senior Vice President of Sales and Customer Relations at Greenstone Farm Credit Services. Randy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tim.
Now, Greenstone has been a proud sponsor of the Q1 Buck Bowl for a number of years, and you've really helped thousands of Michigan residents own a piece of recreational land.
Yes, we have provided financing for thousands of folks across the state, and we're very happy to be part of that dream building process.
And you know, Randy, owning a piece of recreational land means what? You can manage it the way you want, you can create food plots, habitat areas for wildlife, so it's really something that is an awesome thing for outdoor enthusiasts.
Yes, in addition to habitat improvement for wildlife, but also improvements for the human side of things too, where they can enjoy the luxury of a cabin or bring in electricity to the property. So it involves not only just wildlife habitat improvement, but also improving the property in general for everybody.
And Greenstone has a number of outdoor enthusiasts on staff, but you also have locations all over the state too.
Yes, our 31 offices are conveniently located to the bulk of the customers that we do business with, and we encourage those folks to stop in and talk to us. We share a lot of the same values and beliefs that the outdoors community has, and many of our staff actually enjoy the same activities.
Randy, there's a lot of different programs too, aren't there?
Yes, we can provide financing for up to 30 years and a fixed rate of interest for as little as 20% down.
Randy, how can I find out more about the programs that are available from Greenstone?
Well, there are a variety of methods. Certainly you can check us out on the web. You can reach us at our toll-free number anywhere in the state of Michigan, or you can also stop by one of our 31 conveniently located offices.
And if you're a successful hunter out there, you can take your buck or doe to any of the different Greenstone offices across the state. And I expect to see you holding a big rack out here this year.
Well, I certainly hope to.
All right, Randy, thanks for being with us. Randy Steck's been with us from Greenstone Farm Credit Services. Well, it's time to talk about something that everybody's talking about. It's EHD, and it is really affecting the lower part of southern Michigan. There's a number of deer that are getting near water and they're dying because they're, this disease is taking over their body. And I had a chance to talk to Tom Cooley at the MSU Labs, and we actually cut up a deer.
Yeah, you know, I think it stems from the fact that we've had an unusually dry summer that creates a mite or a fly or whatever you say that bites that deer, and things happen, but not in a good way. And I don't know what that's going to do for our part of Branch County. We know the northern part of Branch County has been impacted by this pretty heavily, so time will tell the tale of the tape and how many bucks we bring in.
All right. Now let's talk to Tom Cooley at the MSU Lab about EHD. We're at the DNR Wildlife Disease Lab at MSU. Tom Cooley is with us. Tom, how are you today?
Good, Tim. How about you?
All right. Today we're going to talk about EHD, and we're actually going to open up a deer and take a look, and you're going to kind of explain to me what you're looking for. Yep. Because, again, on the outside, it really looks like a fine deer.
Yeah, normally with EHD, you don't see anything externally. It's possible that you may get some blood showing out of the nose or the mouth, but for the most part, you don't. You've been told it's a disease that causes a high fever, and so a lot of times these animals will go to water to try to cool off, and so we find them dead in ponds or rivers or lakes. This particular animal was found alive in a pond, but died shortly thereafter. And so the changes that will occur are all internal. It causes a lot of bleeding and a lot of fluid accumulation internally. And so what we will do is skin this animal back and look on both sides of it to see what kind of hemorrhaging or edema, the fluid that we see. And then we'll go inside, and you oftentimes will have a lot of hemorrhaging occurring in the organs as well.
Now, Tom, this one still has velvet on.
Yep.
A lot of the deer that are being found with this particular disease, do they still have velvet on, or does this also happen later in the season too?
Well, normally we don't see this until August. Okay. We're really early this year. The high temperatures and the drought conditions that we've had undoubtedly moved this disease along. It's normally a late summer disease, and because we were so hot so quick, we saw it earlier, and we're seeing it this year in counties that we haven't seen it in recent history. And so because of that, it's going to be a while. What you look for on this is the first killing frost, kill the midge that are the vectors or transmit the virus. And until we get those first killing frosts, this could conceivably continue. So we may have still 4, 5, 6 weeks of transmission occurring, and so not every deer that gets the virus dies from it, but we know that several do.
All right, well, let's take a look and open it up and see what you got here. I'm going to step over here.
What we're going to do is just skin it and lay it back and hopefully show you some of the lesions that we normally see. On a lot of the deer that we're seeing just edema in them, and edema is a fluid accumulation. It may look watery, or it may look like mucus just under the skin and around the muscle bundles. And this is an example of what we see. And again, it's not much, but you can see this gelatinous hemorrhagic material here. And as we skin this animal back, you very likely will see more and more of it. It's here. Oftentimes it's on the chest. We've been seeing it a lot on the neck and the head area of the animals.
Now, it's predominantly in the meat part of the deer, or is it just all throughout?
Usually it's just under the skin. You can see where this one, I just cut back that tissue there. Oftentimes it's around the muscle bundles too, and so in those cases you cut down a little bit deeper to see what you can find. You can see this material here, same sort of thing, a little bit of edema. The other thing that you notice with this disease is when you make a cut under the skin, you'll see it when we get into the organs, the liver and the spleen especially. They're congested, there's a lot of blood there, and when you make your cuts and separate the tissue, as you let it set there, the blood just kind of oozes out of the tissue. And so there's a lot of blood being held in those organs, and those are two organs that do a lot of filtering, have a lot of blood in them, and so it's likely that if you're going to see changes, those would be organs that you would see it in. And then what we try to do is skin the leg on both sides. In most cases, we're seeing hemorrhaging occurring, or edema occurring on both sides of the leg. In some cases, it's just on the inside portion. But you can see, relatively mild here, but there's that edema still showing up. Once again, just a little bit of edema here and here. So it's, in some of them we get vast quantities of it, and some of them it's a little more mild. If a hunter were to shoot a deer with this disease still, these would be the types of things that they would see. And again, there's nothing hazardous to the hunter with the deer that's infected with this disease. Usually by the time the seasons roll around, early archery season, you might still have some sick deer out there, but normally you get those killing frosts early enough that by the time you get later into the archery season, any of those deer that were going to die are dead.
Well, Tom, very interesting, and a lot of people have never seen what EHD looks like on the inside of a deer, and that's one of the things we talked about today. Give me the quick recap. We're looking for blood really in unnatural places, correct?
Right, yeah, you're looking for fluid accumulation under the skin, around the muscles, and then deposits of blood, whether it's frank blood or clotted blood, normally frank blood or real blood. It's in the chest cavity. You may see it in the stomachs. You may see it in the intestinal tract. You see hemorrhages kind of occurring all over the place. They could be on any of the organs, and oftentimes you'll find them inside the heart, blood around the heart. So yeah, an animal that's been shot, it's maybe a little bit more difficult because you've altered the area. You've got some bleeding occurring there, but if an animal is found dead like this, these are the type of changes that we see with EHD.
But an animal that has been shot that then somebody is going to consume, it's not going to cause problems for the person consuming it.
Correct, yes. It can be transmitted. Humans aren't infected with this virus, and so you can process it, you can handle the meat, you can eat it. There's no human concerns with this whatsoever.
All right, Tom, thanks for being with us.
You bet.
Tom Cooley with us here at the DNR Wildlife Disease Lab at MSU. I'm Tim Hart, and you're watching the Q1 Buck Bowl. Well, as Tom Cooley said, there's really nothing that we can do about it. It's really weather-based, and you know, the only thing you can do is when you see a lot of deer, make sure you call the DNR.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, their phone's been ringing a lot. I know I've talked to some of the people that work for me at the Branch Area Career Center, and they said it's pretty bad up there. They said they farm a lot, have a lot of land. They said it was so bad, Mike, I couldn't even go out this summer on my deck because I could smell the dead carcasses.
Yeah, well, it's not pretty, that's for sure. When we come back, we're going to talk about how we score the deer here on the Q1 Buck Poll. And if you'd like to see the deer from last year, go to q1buckpoll.com. We've got all the deer listed. You can go to the regional pages and take a look at some of the big bucks because we had some monsters last year. And when we come back, we'll show you how the scoring will happen this year. Well, how do you score a deer here on the Q1 Buck Poll? It's very simple, to the point, and you can even do it yourself and send us the picture and the measurements via fax or email.
Yeah, you know, I got a buck sitting here in front of me, Tim, and I just want to remind our viewers, you don't have to bring the whole deer in. That's all you need to do once you shoot that buck. Bring the buck in, and we'll measure it just the rack.
You've got until December 31st to get your rack measured. Now let's go outside, and we'll show you how we measure. So how do we score deer on the Q1 Buck Poll? It's a very easy and simple process. First of all, we count the number of points on each side. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points total. All the points have to be at least an inch in length to be counted in the scoring. Then we measure the inside spread. We'll take the tape measure here, run it all the way across, and we've got about 15.5 for the inside spread. Then we'll come down here and measure the mass. With the mass, we measure about an inch above the burrs, and so this one would come out to 3 3/4. We'd go to the other side, and we have 3 3/4. So there's most of our score. And then the last thing that we do is we measure the longest tine. Now we don't measure the main beam. Somebody says, hey, wait, that goes all the way out. I'd like to measure that. Nope, it's the longest tine coming off of that beam. And for this particular rack, we would measure this tine right here. And then this one would come out to about 5.5 in total length. And that's how we score it. You say, hey, do I need to bring just the rack in, or can I bring the whole deer in? Either or. You can bring the rack or the deer as soon as you harvest it in to one of the locations to get your deer scored. What about doe? What do we do there? They are just an entry into the contest. We don't weigh them, we don't score them in any way. You'll take your information and give it to the person that's scoring, and then sign off, and we'll get that registration in. That's how easy it is to score the deer here on the Q1 Buck Poll. That's how you score a deer. I do want to let you know, though, you can bring a doe in also as soon as you shoot it. Take it into any of the locations. Greenstone Farm Credit Services has locations all over the state, as does Auto Value bumper-to-bumper auto parts stores. They'll have registration forms and can help you out there.
And the other thing I want to remind people of, because I got a call this week, Tim, from a guy that owns a little chunk of property, and he learned about, for the first time, the food pantries, and that we do donate deer to the food pantry. And so he wanted me to specifically come out, and you and I are going to do that before the season ends, is to go out and call a few does off his property.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, you know, we have fun. But then we also will take them to the food pantry, and there's food pantries all over the state that will accept venison. Now, the thing that I was most interested in, I mean, besides the EHD, which is very interesting today, and that is trail cam pictures. We're getting a lot of trail cam pictures sent in.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it never ends, and that's the one thing that we've learned about deer hunting as we've done this show. I mean, before in the good old days when we first started, we'd be gearing up about a month before the season started. Now it's a year-round event. I mean, people are planning food plots and trail cam pictures with the cameras that you can buy today. They're affordable, it's exploded, and we've got some great trail cam pictures.
Not only do we want to see the trail cam pics, but we want to see your video, whether it's from last year or this year. We'd like to show hunting from the great state of Michigan. So if you've got some great footage, you can contact myself here at the Q1 Buckpole, and then we'll actually do all the editing for you and then send you a link back so you get a edited version of your hunt from us.
Yeah, and I've had people call me, and the first thing I do is I call Tim saying, guess what? We've got somebody that wants to do a video. We've made it very simple, so just give us a buzz. We'll get those videos on television.
Each and every week, we're going to have a DNR segment along with some cooking segments coming up. We've got some great recipes this year. We're going to have a lot of fun. And you know, Mike, as always, you know, the kickoff show, we've got so much to talk about. We can't get it all in. So keep in tune. You can also watch online at q1buckpole.com. Our new website is up, and you can check out all the segments in case you missed them.
You know, I'm looking forward to the season. I mean, this is the time of the year. It's kind of already happened. School started. I'm walking through the building, and already the first week, it's the first day of school. I ran into a couple of deer hunters from last year that came up to our final prize party, and they wanted to talk deer hunting. So everybody's juiced up. Everybody's ready to go.
I just want to know if they call you Mr. Hoffner or Mr. Big Buck.
Well, actually, both. As long as they put a little Mr. in front of it, I don't mind what it is.
All right, well, Mr. Big Buck, let's get a buck this year. How about that?
All right.
For Mike Big Buck Hoffner, I'm Tim Hart. Thanks for watching this week's edition of the Q1 Buckpole.
Wow, that was good.
You know why?
We're bad to the bone.
Because it's, I don't know why, but it is.
It is what it is.
And we're from Taxidermy by Dorlane. You're watching the Q1 Buckpole, baby.
I think that was pretty darn good.